He's a father, a brother and icon to those that know him. A man that has the gift of advice to those that respect what he says. A man that will not sugarcoat anything. You can agree or disagree, but he is just someone who gives out great advice. Let's Talk About It is the name of the show. Here is your host, the Icon.
Yes. How y'all doing out there? Oh, it's one of my favorite tracks. Let's just groove with this for a little bit. We're gonna get the show started. In just a second. This track is called Goodness Gracious by Just Normal. Oh my God, I love this track. I just love it. All right. Yes, here we are again. This is one of my favorite tracks. Any event, how y'all doing out there? Y'all doing all right? Want to welcome you out to the show. I am Icon. The show is called Let's Talk About It. Hope everybody's having a great week, a great day, a great whatever. I know I am. Oh. Hopefully the weather's been good to some of y'all in parts of the country. It's been kind of mild here. We've had hot days. We go from hot days to cold days. And then from cold days to cold days and another hot day. Then we're getting all this damn rain. Jeez, Lord have mercy. This weather's weird. Very weird. But in any event, I want to welcome you out to the show. How y'all doing out there? Y'all doing all right? Y'all doing good? Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. In any event, we got a letter from an anonymous person. I guess he chose to remain anonymous because he is asking, why is it wrong? And when I was reading the letter, I thought we was going to go to a little bit of a darker side, but not so dark. I guess this guy just had some questions. Because he listened to the last episode, or I think it was the last episode, about being in love with a younger woman where the younger woman is being in love with an older man. So, without further ado, let's get into the show, shall we? All right. So hope y'all got y'all vape. Oh my gosh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. In any event, let's get into the show, shall we? Icon. So I've been listening to your show for quite some time, and I don't want to give my name and information for fear of those that will get the wrong idea about me. I'm just simply asking the question, why? So I heard the show about a younger woman dating older guys, and though I think it's okay, but it's not my kind of taste. It's not for everybody. So the question is, how young is too young? The only reason I ask the question is because I've seen in other countries that they've allowed to get married as young as 9 years old. I mean, that doesn't concern you? I also understand that you have daughters. Am I correct? What if your daughters decide to marry a man that was twice her age? You wouldn't have a problem with it? I will give you my age. I'm 52 years old. I've done my share of traveling through the world just for excitement of having fun and exploring other cultures and their customs. Though I have to say it's definitely mind-blowing when you're not in the USA. I have to say the world is going to shit. I also have 5 daughters, but they're all older. And I'm like you, I lost my wife 6 years ago, but I found love again in the Philippines. But I must admit, when I met her, she lied about she lied about her age. Though I thought she was much older, I was embarrassed and ashamed. I met her on Facebook, of all places. We chatted about in what I thought was a good conversation. But when I traveled to the Philippines to meet her, something didn't seem right to me. Something didn't seem right to me. Also, keep in mind that this happened 2 years after my wife passed. So when I went there to meet her, though our conversation, she told me she was 25, but come to find out she was just 16 years old. Damn. Thank God we didn't have sex, Icon. Do you hear what I'm saying? I mean, damn, Icon. I only found this out because she wanted to get married. And though at the time it seemed good for me, but for the life of me, I couldn't understand why she had her parents there when we discussed marriage. But their English wasn't good enough, and I had to be translated through the daughter. Well, I found out after taping the conversation and translator, but after scrambling the conversation, the parents were sick, and they wanted to make sure that their daughter would have a good life. Because Icon, you know that most Filipinos are poor or live in poverty. So after hearing that, my heart was crushed, and I had a decision to make. But to me, it wasn't a tough decision because I have daughters. So instead of going back to the home where they stayed, I offered her and her parents to come to the hotel where I was staying, and we had lunch. I also told her that I couldn't marry her, and that I knew that she wasn't 25. She asked how I knew. I said, because you're very different from when we chatted. You seem so immature, and not to mention I caught a glimpse of your birth certificate when I was talking to your parents, where they handed me what I thought what it was. So I questioned myself, Icon. I'm not that type of guy. Clearly my daughters would have crashed out. Yeah, they would have. Icon, have you had this problem when you visit the Philippines? But here's the other crazy thing. After I went to the Philippines, I went to Bangladesh. I have to say there's some good parts, but what you don't see is the horrible condition that they treat younger girls there. But that's why I'm asking you, how young is too young? Because I stayed there for a week and I witnessed a marriage by accident, but the bride looked so young, and I had to get the hell out of there. I mean, how in the hell is this even legal? I probably won't go back to Bangladesh anytime soon. However, as I said before, I found my future bride. She is 34 years old, has 2 kids that are teenagers. My girls love her, and that's all that matters. Though I did feel a little bit bad for the first one, but I'm paying for her schooling. And she isn't sure what she wants to be, but she just wants to finish school. So thank you for reading the email, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Signed, unknown place, unknown person. Okay, so I don't really see this letter as being bad. I mean, I get it. You want to know how young is too young. I mean, I think if you live in the States as much as I do, you know how young is too young. I mean, real talk. I can't really speak for what goes on in other countries, because in other countries, it's kind of different. Hold on. I can't really speak to the effect of what other countries go through or what they do, but I can say that in the United States, it is the legal age to get married is 18, 16 if you have consent of a parent. Now, as you said, I do have daughters, and if my daughters did come to me and that they were dating a man that was twice their age, if they are of legal adults, which I'm sure they will be, who am I to say or who am I to judge? I mean, I'll give them my 2 cents and say, well, are you sure it's what you want to do? But listen, as I said before, women are going to be free to make their own decisions. Now, some women choose older men because of stability and the mature of the older man. Now, they're not always like that, but that's what they are. In any event, I'm kind of baffled about being married to a younger girl, because here's the thing. I don't understand what men see in girls that young. They are kids. They can't really do anything. It's basically like you're raising another child. And though in certain parts of this world that there are cultures that have that kind of screwed up kind of policy by marrying off a younger girl. I mean, some girls as young as 9, as young as 10. I think it's kind of disgusting. I think it's sick. I think it's horrible. And I think that anybody should, I get it. Some of this stuff is their religion. Like, hold on. I have some statistics here about some of these countries. Hang on. Let me get my notes. So countries that, get married to young girls. Nigeria is the number 1 country with 76%. Bangladesh is at 51%. The lowest is Ethiopia. Now, basically what this means is that, and some of them do it because of poverty reasons. Like, the family is just not well off. The family has to make ends meet, so they marry off their daughters, which I think is kind of sad, because I wouldn't do that to my daughters. I'd rather be poor, living on the street, than to sell off my daughter to any old ass man, real talk. Because if that shit kind of happened to me, you'd probably see me on the news or making the world news, because I think it's disgusting. I think if these are young ladies, they're young girls, they need to be protected at all costs. And I know, given recent events that's going on in our country today with our dumbass president and him and this whole Epstein thing, that these young ladies need to be protected. Now, if you are of legal age, say 18, that you can consent to marriage, then by all means, do what you got to do. But if you want to force some child that's 9 or 10 years old into marriage, and that's kind of sick, I don't understand what you get out of that, because it's not even right. It's disgusting. The crazy thing is that, hang on. Okay, so underage marriage is often legal or permitted through specific loopholes in some countries. No minimum age countries, including like Gambia, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, South Sudan, Yemen, historically have not specified clear minimum age. Doggone it, this damn thing. Hold on. Thought I turned the ringer off on this. Okay, so But religious laws in some countries like the Philippines, Iran, Lebanon, and Sharia, I don't know. But in any event, I don't see why in this country, in the U.S., because we have people like that try to do stuff like that. And they do it through like religious, like polygamy, which is a religion I can't get behind. I don't understand, because I don't understand how you can marry a child as young as 11. I don't get none of that. And the crazy thing is, here's my whole thing on why I wouldn't date a girl that damn young, or even be thinking about a girl that young. Because of, number one, it's disgusting. Number two, she's a whole kid. What can you do with a kid? I need a grown woman. I need a grown woman to tell me what I can and can't do and what we can do together. I mean, you got to admit, people that have these kind of fixation on younger girls is just kind of sick. And I know the internet is just blowing up and going crazy with social media and these young girls and all that, but that stuff is sick. I mean, listen, it's fun to look at if you're looking at it through like, just looking at it as like a learning or comedy or funny or stuff like that. But you'd be surprised on how many of these men just sitting on this damn site, just making like, oh, I would marry you. Really? Would you really marry a kid? And the crazy thing is, half them fucks even have kids. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cuss, but sometimes when you talk about something like this, it kind of gets you kind of angry. And you got to wonder, because when you see men getting caught in stuff like this, and it's just really bad. It's just bad and it's disgusting. And then they come to find out they have kids. So my thing is, what you've seen in Bangladesh, it's their custom. And I know that they don't really have a say in it, but somebody needs to speak up for them, because I think it's just disgusting. And, you know, though it has been decreased, it's gone down quite a bit, but still, let's just be real honest with here. Why would anybody want to do that to a child? Why would you want to have a relationship with a child? A child can't do anything but just be a child. They don't know anything at that age. All they know is that they're a kid and they want to play. They want to have dolls. They want to have friends. They want to have sleepovers. And for men to rob these young women of their childhood and force them into adulthood, it's just disgusting. It's just sick. It's just disgusting. So why is it wrong? It's wrong because it's the law. And though some countries don't have laws like the U.S., but even though, because the U.S. is still facing an uphill battle with some of these pedophiles here, mainly the one that's sitting in the White House, but you didn't hear that from me. You hear that from me. But keep in mind, some of these countries that practice this kind of stuff, that's just their culture. I don't know how they got this culture, and I don't know where this culture even came from. Because I got to be honest with you, if I was back in those days, yeah, I'd have been, oh Lord, y'all have read about me from generations on end, like real talk. But I understand what you're saying. So, and then I understand that you met a young lady who was in the Philippines and she lied about her age. The crazy thing is I spoke about this on a podcast a while ago. I'm not sure how far back, but there was a guy that met a Filipino, and I think he was 48. She was, at the time, she claimed to be 18, but she was actually 16. I'm not sure how that even came about, but they got married. And I'm not even sure how that even happened. Because here's the thing about Filipino women. Now, I can't speak to the fact of all Filipino women, but when you're a foreigner and you go to their country, and you look like you project to have money, you ask this happened to me. This didn't really happen to me because, let's face it, I'm black, I'm not white. I think some countries worship white men because they think all white men are rich. All white men are not rich. But me being me, the only thing I got to ask if I knew who certain celebrities were, and I didn't. But here's the thing. When you go to these countries, and white men are looked at as the go-to person. They're like, they can't do any wrong. They're just the the alpha, the omegas or whatever. That's what I'm just basing it off of. I'm not saying that that's who they are. But this Filipino here, her parents are sick and her parents want to quickly marry her off to a foreigner. Now, is that wrong? It kind of feels like it is, but at the same time, I think that most people in these countries that live in this kind of poverty are just hoping to have a better life. Now, he said the conversation started off real good. The conversation started off well, but you found out that she was 16. I mean, we've all been there. I've been there. I've met a girl who I thought was of appropriate age, but she wasn't. She was 16. And I quickly had to end that because that's not who I am. So when you see, and let's be honest, this day and age, it's kind of hard to tell. It's kind of hard to tell if some of these women are older or if they're younger, because let's be honest with you, Filipinos and some of the Asian cultured women look like they're like they're damn near teenagers. But in actuality, they're actually really older and mature women. So but what I would say is that you did the right thing by calling her out on it, because let's be real honest, some men wouldn't even do that. Some men would just went and thank God you didn't have sex with her, because if you would, I'm not sure how you would have felt, but I don't understand I don't get it. I just don't get it. I understand it, but I'm glad that you called yourself out on it. You decided not to go through it. Why? Because you have 5 daughters. And like you said, if your 5 daughters would have found that out, they would have crashed out on you immediately, as well as they should have, because you don't want to be the guy that loses their daughter because you decided you wanted to get a piece of young woman. I'm not going to say young ass, but some young stuff, basically. I'm trying to find the right words for it, but I don't want to say anything to offend anybody. So what I'm saying is that though you did the right thing by ending it, I think your daughters would appreciate that too. So but you're 52 years old and she was 16. That's like almost, I want to say triple the age. I don't know. But let's be real honest though. Most men in your situation would have just probably wouldn't have given it a second thought and would have just went on ahead and did what they had to do with this young lady. Because why? Because most men are dogs. And I'm not saying like all men are dogs, but most men are dogs. Because they can get away with it in other countries. But when you come over here, you can't get away with shit like that. And I don't understand why that is. Listen, as desperate as some of these women are in these countries, they're looking for a better life. They want a better life. Who are we as males to take advantage of that? We shouldn't take advantage of that. We should be, and like he said, he was paying for her school. He did not sleep with her. He started paying for her school. That's admirable. That is really admirable, because you have some men who won't even do that. Some men will just take advantage of the whole situation, get this girl probably pregnant, and probably won't even see her again. But you have daughters, so you have a high moral compass in saying that that's not going to be me. Now, I can't say that didn't happen to me. It didn't. Actually, none of that shit happens to me. I mean, I might have got some looks and said hi and bye, and that's it. But I mean, like I said, most white, and I'm assuming that this guy is white because I ain't really heard no brothers doing no shit like this. Real talk. So, but I think what you're doing is what you did was good. I think what you did was good, and I think that what you saw in Bangladesh was probably, it wouldn't have been for me. There are some cultures I like to visit. There are some cultures I just would not like to visit, because if I'd have seen that, I'd have probably lost it. But then again, I'd have probably been the one going to jail, probably got murdered behind it, because that's their culture. That's their custom. Now, only they can be judged by the big man upstairs. But me personally, for me, that's not a lifestyle I would choose to live. Because again, how can you subject yourself to marry a child when a child, you're going to have to teach her everything that she needs to know. She can't cook. She can't clean. Only thing she knows how to do is to be a kid. So I don't understand none of that. I mean, that's like you're basically raising another kid. Why would you want to get married to a kid when you have to raise a kid? And then not only that, when you get this kid pregnant, you're going to have to help her raise her kid because she doesn't know any better about how to raise a kid. Now, in some cultures, what is it, Zimbabwe or whatever, they teach these women how to respect their husband, how to basically teach them how to move in the bedroom with their husband, make their husband happy. And these girls start off around, I don't know, I think I want to say 14 or 15. But again, that's their culture. I can't judge them on that because I'm not in their country. Now, if I was in their country and I thought it was wrong, then yes, maybe. But luckily, UNICEF has gotten involved. And though child marriage has been down 21% in recent years, and it's been decreased over 10 years prior to that, I think it's a good thing. But it's still out there. It's still hot and heavy. It's still kind of bad. But but as I said before, I think that when you say this world is going to shit, I think it's not going to shit because there are still a lot of good people in this world who will fight for young girls and young women to be who they need to be. Mainly my daughters. Because like I said, if my daughters would ever come to me and say, well, Dad, I'm going to marry this guy. He's twice my age, but I love him. But you're an adult. You're an adult. So while I'm going to talk to my daughters and tell them about why it may be good or why it may not be good, I can't judge them for that. I can't sit there and tell them that they can't do what they need to, what they shouldn't do. Because if you tell somebody not to do it, that's only going to draw them closer to it. That's going to draw them closer to it. That's going to pull them closer in. And then you're going to not only lose the one that you love, but you're going to lose out on everything. So the best thing for me as a father to my daughters is just to be there to support them. Now, one of my daughters is of legal age and one of my other daughters is not yet. But the fact of the matter is this. I love my daughters no matter what. I will let no harm come to them. And if they have questions for me, then I will give them that direction and that understanding of saying that, hey, I mean, it'd be different if my daughter's 16-year-old come to me talking about she's in love with a 30-year-old. Then, yeah, somebody's got to die. Basically, let's be real talk. Somebody gonna die. Somebody gonna die tonight. Oh. Oh, that's good tea. But that's who I am as a father. Now, whoever this anonymous person is, I commend you on doing the right thing. I commend you because you have daughters. I commend you because you're seeing the bigger picture, because most men don't even see it that way. And as we've seen on YouTube or around the world, that we do have some men that go to other countries that have like extramarital affairs and they cheat on their wives. They have kids out of wedlock, leaving the female to raise this child. And that's just wrong. That's just mean. I mean, there should be no cause for that. You know, I was always watching these documentaries on YouTube about the kids that will be around the world and they're looking for their father. And it's just sad. I mean, who would want to do that to a young lady? Leave your child in another country while you're all living a good life. Meanwhile, your child is up here scrounging and living in poverty. Now, granted, it's sad because most of these women have nothing to show, but they just have to use what they have to get what they want. Mainly what I'm talking about is their body. They use their body to get what they want, to sell, to get money to pay for the family, or to better themselves or to better their life. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're on video, in person, maybe. But as we know that sex workers over here are live on video. Case in point, OnlyFans. Lord Jesus, OnlyFans. And it's not bad because I'm not judging anybody who does that. Because why? It's harmless. It's just a video. You're not doing any illicit acts. Well, you are doing some illicit acts, but as long as you don't want to decide you want to run for politician or be a high profile lawyer, then hey, you got nothing to worry about. But let's be real honest. I don't know if this would happen to any of my daughters, but I pray and hope that it doesn't. But over here, we're so fortunate to have the light that we have because we have laws to protect women and young girls and children. Other countries are not. And it's sad because they don't have what we have. You know, when I go to the Philippines every year, damn, this phone keeps going off. Hold on for a minute. I'm trying to do this. So, I lost my train of thought. In any event, oh crap, I hate when that happens. In any event, what I was trying to say is that we can't really judge what other countries do and these other people do because they're just trying to make ends meet. And by them trying to survive for their life and fend for their life. Now, this young girl here who was 16, pretending to be 25, she may have had some good qualities about her. But I think in that country, and I think that's why some men navigate to women in other countries because they're young, but they're so much mature. Now, unfortunately, this young lady wasn't that mature because she's a little bit immature. But I think why men navigate to other countries is because when you've been forced into a life of poverty, you get humbled really quick. I mean, you know what it takes to do hard work. You know what it takes to survive. You know what it takes to take care of your family. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't work over here in the U.S. because I think here in the U.S. we're somewhat spoiled, but at the same time, then again, we're not. And the only reason why I say that is because the women over here are somewhat different. It's not like it was back in the good old days before the age of social media and internet blew up. You got to keep in mind that people in other countries don't even have this kind of access that we have. So by them doing what they're doing, they're just trying to take care of their family. This family here was sick, or the parents were sick. So if the parents are sick, clearly they have, I don't know what's going on with them because you didn't really say. So I don't know if they are, if their life has been ready to be cut short or whatever, but maybe you know something that I don't know. In any event, they were trying to make sure that their daughter was going to be well taken care of and that she was going to have a good life. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. And maybe the parents were in on it, maybe they were, maybe they weren't. But if you ever go to the Philippines and you see like a lot of young girls out there, and then you see the parents, and the parents are, if they know you're a foreigner, they're going to try everything in their power that they can do to say, hey, she's a good woman, she cooks, she cleans, and she's just really nice. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but she needs to be a certain age. And then she needs to be a certain age, she needs to choose if this is going to be right for her. Because arranged marriages are also a no, that's a, oh Lord, that's a no down, that's a downer for me. That's going to be a no-go for me. Because arranged marriage is just, people are not happy if you have to be arranged to get married to somebody that you didn't even know or that you don't even like. And I think arranged marriages are just, they're crazy. And that happens a lot over in Bangladesh or whatever because they're arranged marriages. Now, and I'm not 100% accurate on this, so don't quote me on this, or don't hold me to this. But arranged marriages over there is like, let's say the son is just an asshole. He's arrogant. He's an asshole. But the daughter of a poor man, the daughter of a poor man is going to be marrying this asshole. Now, he doesn't give a damn about her. He only cares because the parents arranged a marriage for them because the parents of the poor girl want to alleviate their debt. And how they're going to alleviate their debt? Well, they're going to pay the debt off with the daughter. Now, that's cold. That's cold and that's wrong. And it shouldn't even be that way. Like I said, I'd rather be poor, broke, living on the street than to sell my daughter off to some old ass man who's just going to abuse and misuse my daughter. I couldn't even allow it. And then you have somebody, well, it's hard for me to do that. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's called, if you can do it, find a way out of it. I don't give a damn how long it takes you. Find a way out of that life. Give your daughter a life that you couldn't even dream of having for yourself. And that's the kind of life I want for my daughters. You know, granted, we don't have those problems here, but I want them to be everything that they can be. I want them to make their own damn decisions. I want them to make their own choice. I want them to choose their own male, their own suitor, or whoever they want to choose. Let them be free to choose who they're going to choose. Because again, being in a relationship that you don't know anybody about, it's just ridiculous. It's stupid. That's like back in the day when they had those mail order brides. You know, the mail order brides that would come over here and they wouldn't even know who the people are. You'd spend hours writing letters. That's for the internet. And that was some cold shit there. Because we didn't have this shit back then. You know, we just had just paper. I mean, mail order brides, that would just come in like, that was a service that you would call to say what you want, how you wanted her, and if she was compatible with you. But now, since internet's been turned up. You got shit like Tinder and, that's the only one I know is Tinder. Oh, I wonder why. I'm joking. But, I mean, real talk. Who could do anything like that? I couldn't. I mean, it's just bad. But so, as I said before to Mr. Anonymous, I think what you did was very commendable. Because there's not a lot of men like you, like me, or like anybody else in this world that would probably say or do what we do. Because you got to look at it this way. How would this man would have felt if he would have brought this 16-year-old girl home and the parents would have signed off on it? You're bringing a 16-year-old girl home and you have 5 other daughters. How that would have made them feel? I mean, I'm pretty sure they would have been crushed, probably been heartbroken. You probably would have lost every damn thing. The only thing you probably would have had would have been was her, because your marriage to her would have been legal. But again, I'm older. I'm 48. I don't need, just like this Mr. Anonymous guy who's 52, I don't need any validation to say that I got it like that. I don't need any validation of a younger female. Certainly not one that's like not even crossed the threshold of 21. You know, while it's fun to chat and talk to people from around the world, and I enjoy that, I really do. And let's be real honest. Some of them, they just want help. They just want help. They just want to have somebody that they can, maybe talk to, bend the ear a little bit, or whatever. But never would I would sit there and say, well, yeah, I think we should go ahead and do this. Yeah, let's go ahead and get married. Because some are not ready. And I'm not the type of person that's going to take a young girl's childhood or her innocence and be like, well, we can make it work, girl. No, that's not me. That's not me. Clearly not me. And you have people out there who are like that are just really sick individuals, who are sick human beings, who should have a front row seat in hell when you die. Like, real talk. You really should. Because I just think if you're made that way, and if you look at females that certain type of way, the younger the better. Some people say that's not me. I can't do that. I can't. And if you know somebody like that, maybe distance yourself away from them. And maybe, I mean, first I'd recommend you get the computer checked, but I'm just saying, if you know somebody like that, you got to distance yourself away from, like take for instance, this idiot that we got in the White House, this dumbass. So he's been listed in the Epstein files. They say more times than Jesus has his name in the Bible. But people are still backing this man up. Why would you want to back a man like that up? Knowing what you know, knowing what he says and what he does. And if that ain't protecting a pedophile, I don't know what is. But that's clearly not me. That's clearly not this guy who wrote this letter. This guy in this letter just wanted to know, why is it wrong? Because it is wrong. Who would want to do that to an innocent child? That's disgusting. That's sick. But for those of you who either listen to my show or you know me, if you have a problem like that, get help. Get help before it gets bad really quick. There's no shame of going to get help to alleviate these thoughts and crazy thoughts and things that you're having. Just go get help. Go get help. I knew a young lady. I was her bus driver. And the sad thing about it was she was being molested by her daddy. I didn't know this till like later. But the older daughter got mad because the father would molest the younger daughter. So the older daughter. Now the older daughter was she had a learning disability and she was kind of handicapped. But she was mad because the younger daughter got it worse than what she didn't even get touched. And that's sad. But I think the older daughter didn't understand that, being touched like that is just wrong. But I prayed for her, prayed for her family. I think she's in a better place now. Let's just say that that's not a pretty thing. So, in any event, Mr. Anonymous, I hope this letter finds you in good taste, good form. But I think, as I keep saying, that you did the right thing. I think that you did the smart thing because nobody wants to have that kind of problem. And what I mean by problem, nobody wants to bring a younger girl home and that you already have daughters. So from one father to another, I congratulate you. You did the right thing because I would have damn sure did that. The same thing what you did. I would have said, no, can't do it. And I also commend you because you're paying for this young girl's schooling and that she doesn't know what she wants to be, but hey, at least she's going to have the education and at least she's going to be able to figure out what she wants to do in life. So while I salute you and I congratulate you on doing that, keep doing you. You said you met another Filipino. She's 34 years old. I mean, it's fine. She could have been 25 and I still would have said that's fine. But the 16-year-old is definitely a no-go. And I think you already knew that. So, and it's okay you didn't want to leave me your name. It's all good. It's all fine. I get it. But your future bride is 34. Congratulations on you getting married or whenever you decide to get married. She has two kids that are teenagers. That's good. And your girls love her. Like you said, that's all that matters. So when we find somebody that our kids approve of, then that lets you know that you're doing something right because you raise good daughters. So your wife's been gone for 6 years. Mine has been gone for 4 years. But I couldn't do that to my daughters. So while I say thank you again, I'm going to continue to say thank you. So I hope this podcast finds you in good form, good taste, or whatever it is. And I hope that you continue to do what you do as being a good man and a good father, because we need more men like you. More men like me, more men like you. Hey! But it's all good. It's all good. It's good to talk to a fellow father who understands that when you have daughters, you protect your daughters at all costs. And just because you're seeing somebody who is the same age as your daughter that you should not be seeing, that's good. Oh, hold on, let me say that back. Let me say that right. you're seeing someone that's the same age as your daughter that you were kind of mistaken off of, or that you were kind of deceived off of, but you quickly ended that. And that's a good thing. And again, I say, bravo, you didn't have sex with her. Thank God. Yeah. That's a good thing, though. So, as I said before, we need more men like this. More men to protect these young women. More men to say no because you're too young. Or no because that's not what I'm about. Or no because I want you to grow up and choose the right man for you. That's the more men we need right here, right now. So as I get ready to close the show out, I want to say thank you guys for listening to the show. Thank you for the downloads. Y'all keep them downloads coming. I see I'm getting a bunch of likes on my social medias, and I'm getting a bunch of new followers, by the way. Appreciate that. Yeah, keep doing it. So, yeah, that's going to be the show for today. I appreciate y'all tuning in. And if y'all have any questions, comments, or concern, y'all can hit me up on my social media links. And if y'all go to Buzzcast and y'all listen to the show, leave a comment or just leave whatever you want, you know? I've been getting some letters as to when's your co-host coming in? Well, co-host kind of fell through. She's not going to be on the show. So I'll just continue to do the show by myself. And until I either get somebody that wants to come on or you want to discuss anything, y'all know where to hit me up on all my social medias. The show is called Let's Talk About It. On IG, TikTok, Facebook, whatever. But it's been a good day. It's been a great show. And I do want to say thank you to all my loyal listeners. Thank you for the emails. And for some of y'all that do leave comments, I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. Because your comments, I do read. I may not share them on the show, but I do read them. And I do enjoy getting, most of the mail for the most part is just positive. You know, you get some of those in there who just, got to put their little 2 cents in and, say they bullshit or whatever or whatnot, but it's what it is. So I'm grateful for my listeners. I'm grateful for the followers that I have, and I'll just continue to keep doing this show until I can't do it no more. But in any event, I want to say thank you to my listeners. Thank you for you guys for joining me here on the show today. Till next time, you guys take care of yourself and each other. We're going to leave you guys probably with this next track because this track's about to end. It's called Maximum Profit by Gloria Tales. And if y'all want to know anything about the tracks I listen to, y'all know what to do. Hit your boy up. But I hope y'all have a good week, a good day, a good whatever. Remember, tough times don't last forever. Tough people do. So until then, you guys take care of yourself and each other. We're going to leave y'all with this next track. And we're going to let y'all ride this one out. So, yeah. Y'all take care now.
You've been listening to Icon with Let's Talk About It. Please follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Thanks for spending time with me today. Always remember, I can't control life, but I can control how I react to it. Stay sharp, and I'll see you soon.